Hello, everybody. I'm Will,
And I'm Kristen.
and this is So I'm watching Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, Episode 7.
The Viewing.
I didn't get this one.
No.
That's not to say that it wasn't good, and I will admit, full disclosure, I'm in the process of moving, so I was technically packing while I was watching this one. I feel badly about that, but
I watched it as hard as I could. It's the director's Panos Cosmatos, who directed that movie Mandy with Nick Cage that everybody like the horror community is really into. And so my husband was really excited for this one, and I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I sort of was like looking at it, and I was like, yes, perennial Kristen favorites: Peter Weller, Steve Agee, Eric Andre, and Charlene Yee. I was like, I don't know.
You don't like Charlene Yee?
She's fine. They are fine.
Oh, what are they from? I knew that.
Michael Cera.
Oh, okay.
And 30 Rock.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, because between them, Eric Andre and Sofia Boutella were the only ones that I had any sort of connection to, and I think that's because I already knew who they were.
I actually have a weird connection to Michael, is it Terralt? Something like that. He was on that show Rain that I watched like 3 seasons of and could not keep going because it was so ridiculous. But it's just like that. I do like Sofia Boutella a lot. She did next to nothing in this episode, but it just
I feel like the script just said Sonoya Mizuno role.
Yeah, the whole thing was just, it was like just vibes, but it was like the opposite of vibes that I'm down for.
Well, I very much said I didn't get it. I stand by that. So if you liked it, feel free to let us have it in the comments. But it for me, for one thing, and I noticed this with Mike Flanagan in Midnight Club, where Mike Flanagan is currently my favorite auteur, my favorite working person. However, when you really dive into a person and their oeuvre, you start to speak the language and you can hit sort of a saturation point. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm grateful that we just had Midnight Club, and why we currently have American Horror Stories season 11, which we are kind of enjoying.
Yeah.
Because it breaks some of this up. And so I think that if I saw this on its own, just randomly, I might feel differently about it. But its placement in this anthology,
sure,
I'm sort of like, oh, so more of the same, only boring.
Yeah, well, to me, too, it was like way too chaotic. Like, that was like a cup full of cocaine that they did.
I was gonna say... I was going to be like without revealing too much about myself, I was going to be like, that seems like a lot. If that's most people's normal, then I'm...
So, okay, I've never, ever done cocaine.
I was taken aback. I was like...
if cocaine is your party drug of choice, then whatever. But, like, I've never done cocaine. But given what I've seen in TV and movies thus far in my almost 37 years of life, I just, especially the one that Peter Weller had, that was like a ping pong ball size, like lump of cocaine. He did all of it. And it was just sitting in like a friggin' Glamourget egg. She was taking it out by the like fistful. That's too much cocaine.
It seemed like it.
Right?
It seemed like it to me. If I were to be partaking, it would be more like Sarah Michelle Gellar and Cruel Intentions.
Just your little like empty like hollow cross, or like a little poison ring, like one little. Well, okay. In addition to so just pivoting away, but one more thing about the cocaine, which is like if it was just the first plate that she then sprinkled fucking fairy dust on. That's PCP. If it was just that plateful, I would have been like, that's cocaine. But it was like in a tub. Like, it was ridiculous.
No, I was retching looking at it. Like, I got dripped. It felt really pretentious to me. Like, it felt like it was saying something really profound. And if, like I said, if it was and I didn't, and I didn't get it, then that's on me. I'll take that blame. But they basically were 4 accomplished. It was like a writer and like a scientist and a psychic
and a musician.
Musician.
Eric Andre was a musician.
And Lasseter brought them there to show them a rock that wasn't from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And he fucked with them.
Well, Eric
don't-
Andre was smoking, and he kept telling him not to, and then The Rock, like, inhaled the smoke, and then it exploded Steve Agee's head.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
And then Charlene Yi and Eric Andre managed to, like, escape.
That was funny. I
Yeah.
actually laughed out loud, them running out
Yeah.
and him stopping to get more cocaine.
He was just, like, by the fistful!
And then them driving, I didn't get it. And it's, I feel like I need to keep talking, because we have sort of an idea of how these episodes go.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of, because in the monster, it absorbed the people that were there.
Yeah.
And then the driver shot at a bunch with a gold machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went.
Poor Hector. I felt bad for Hector.
But even that, I wish I wish more people would reason with these eldritch terrors, because it was sort of like, help me. And so I wanted to be like, time out. Is this a Frankenstein situation? Are you actually the victim here?
Are you actually
and in need
scary?
of help?
Yeah.
I'll try to help you if I can, but if this is a trick, I'm gonna be
I'm
mad.
gonna be super pissed.
And so because he just starts shooting into it, none in the head.
It seems like it's going straight through him too, because there's like bullet holes behind him in the wall.
Mm-hmm. And then it electrocutes him because that's the power it has.
Unbelievable, out of nowhere.
And then it goes through a tunnel and comes out maybe in LA in the 70s. Well, I mean, it was the 70s the whole time. But...
Well, it looked like the LA River, so I don't know.
So it's gonna wreak havoc, and it's all their fault, except Charlotte and Randall can maybe explain it later.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, how long do they have? Just because they escaped, does that mean they're safe? Or, like, now this thing is out in the open?
Watch, we're literally explaining why it's so brilliant right now.
I
don't know. I didn't get it.
Yeah. I will say, I thought it looked really cool, all, like, blown out and everything, because I guess Will said that's what Mandy looks like.
Everything in this series has looked wonderful,
yeah, really
and
cool.
Now's as good a time as any to really herald the entire production, but the combination of practical, visual, and special effects.
100%.
Because there are digital effects.
Yeah.
There absolutely are. But it feels very grounded. A hair retro?
Yeah.
But in a nice way.
Uh-huh.
But it does have the digital flourishes.
Yeah.
Where
Guillermo del Toro, I think, subscribes to the Francis Ford Coppola school of, like, in-camera tricks.
Yeah, it was nice. The music in this one was good. It was that kind of 70s, 80s synth, but to good effect.
Yeah. I found especially Lassiter to be just so pretentious. Like, everything about him. I was like, because he was also like, he just was so judgy about everything. He had that amazing whiskey that seemed like really good. And then he was like, they were passing out the cocaine, and then they were doing like smoking a joint also. And I was like, this is too many things on top of each other. But then he also was like, I don't fuck with that hippie shit. And I'm
like, what? Pick a poison. Let's do
drug.
one poison at a time. That's where you're clutching your pearls. It's
just didn't. I like, that's never the type of thing that I am into. Like, I'm never drawn to like entertainment where everybody is just indiscriminately doing mind-altering substances,
or even parties for that matter,
or parties. But it was like, I understand,
like, if you're getting high, that's what you're doing.
Yes.
That's your whole day. It's not.
That's my plan.
I'm not icing on top.
No, I'm not getting high and then going out and then taking a different kind of drug and then taking a different kind of drug and then having alcohol on top of that.
And then banging a stranger.
I would die. I'm not saying I'm like a paragon of health or anything, but I've never had that many chemicals in my body at one time. And I feel like I'm Chris Traeger in that one episode of Parks and Rec where he's like, 1 ounce of the snake juice would literally kill me.
You get hungover if you get too many French fries. So.
Yeah, it's like, it's not good.
So yeah.
Not my favorite one.
No, yeah. I feel like there was one last thing I was going to say, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
So let's pretend that's part of the brilliance of this episode.
Cool.
Is that I left you
wanting
with
more.
one unanswered question.
Yeah, just one.